one player we haven't mentioned so far who was fantastic today and delighted because he's copped a lot of stick and understandably at times, was Josh Davidson, who I thought today he was strong. He linked the play pretty well at times. The goal was a really, really good finish through the defender's legs right into the far corner. And he's obviously scored quite a few in pre-season. And he's got like his first league goal today. I feel with him, again, I think it's a consequence of the system we're playing is giving the attacking players a bit more of a chance to show what they can do. I think that was the big thing when Crosby came in the back end of the year. He made players who had looked poor at times start to look good, or what we expected them to be. And I think you've seen the same with Davidson. Even the back end of last season, they looked a bit more of a player there. I thought today he did really well. Brilliantly taken goal, linked the play, and I think he's simplified his game a bit as well into just be good at what you're good at. You're a big, strong unit who is a ball ache to play against for defenders, and he was a nuisance. I think it was him who got their defender sent off, who was an absolute clown, but as an ex-Wrexham player, that was another highlight of the day. So cheerio, Mr. Boyle. And just getting in between the posts. And I think if we can get some good deliveries in the box from the likes of Brough, Norman, Whittaker, and just say, right, you just get in there and attack it with the physique he's got, like he did at Newport for the goal. I think there is a player in there. Is it do we want to just solely rely on him and Christian Dennis? In an ideal world, maybe not, but who's to say? Right, what you've seen under Andy Crosby, he's turning players into better players, and I think if we keep playing, obviously we're not going to win 4-0, and today was a very good performance where a lot of things did go right, but who's to say he can't play a big part for us this year?
See, I've been looking into some of the numbers for Davidson. So that's 3 goals in his last 7 appearances under Andy Crosby. If you go back to scoring against Chesterfield, also in the 4-0, and obviously scoring against Newport. I mean, maybe it's the fact that he only scores in games where Tranmere scored 4. But 3 goals in his last 7 appearances for Tranmere. Bear in mind, before that, in his 32, I think it would have been, 27 league appearances before then, he'd only scored 1, and that was a miss hit at Swindon. So the stats were poor, but maybe we just have to reassess things. Nigel Adkins' team made players, it was very easy to look bad in a Nigel Adkins team. It wasn't easy to look good. How many players can we genuinely say looked good over the 18 months that Nigel Adkins was in charge for? Rob Apter, 1, Luke McGee, 2, and then for fits and spurts, for spells, Connor Jennings looked good, or Leo Connor looked good, but there weren't many that looked good. It was very easy to look bad. We're now looking at Christian Dennis scoring goals under Andy Crosby. He's done so again today. We're looking at Josh Davidson, who is beginning to score goals under Andy Crosby. Turnbull was significantly better under Crosby last year. Leo Connor, Cameron Norman, the same goes for both of them. Maybe we just need to wipe the slate clean with these players and go, actually, they played badly because they were playing under a terrible manager, arguably the worst in Tranmere's history. Now there's a better manager who understands them more, who's got them more confident, who's got them playing better football. Maybe this is when we judge them.
Absolutely. And I think you can't underestimate the job Andy Crosby is doing. I mean, even more so probably after the events of yesterday, like that would have had an effect. Players would have seen that news and the reaction to it. That he's built a team that looks mentally quite strong, that is organised, that's playing some really, really good football at times. I don't think it's the finished article, and I wouldn't expect it to be. With like you look at today's team, that's a front 3 that have played hardly any minutes together. It's a back 3 that's chopped and changed a little bit as well. So I think it will continue to evolve. And like I say, if you can get those partnerships like the Whittaker and Patrick one, or we've got options there. I mean, even up front, like Davidson or Dennis, that's 2 very different types of strikers and for different games. I mean, answer the questions the game asks of you. We've got 2 different answers there. I mean, Dennis today, I thought he was very good when he came on. His movement is exceptional still, even for the goal, little peel off and a first time finish. And I think there's good players there for sure. I said for a while on the podcast, and it goes back even before Atkins, that to be an attacking player in a Tranmere team is hard, and we've seen the number of strikers who've left Tranmere and started scoring goals, and I do think under Crosby that's going to be different. I think you're seeing players being able to play to the potential. I think we've got some exciting players in there. I mean, even a player like Sol Solomon, he didn't get on today. I think in that system and team, he will score goals if given the chance as well. He came on at Colchester, and he was basically playing as a second left back in that game, so he didn't make much of an impact. But I feel if we keep playing as we were today, he's another one that I wouldn't rule out scoring goals. And maybe it won't be a case of having a 20 goal a season striker, which I think Crosby has said himself. It might be that, right, he's going to get 10, he's going to get 9, he's going to get 8, he's going to get 7, and you share them around. And ultimately, that's probably better, because if one fella gets injured, as we've seen with Mr. Vaughan in the past, that can completely obliterate your season.